Hi everyone, it's Kerry back with you today, and it's the 1st of March, which is insane, but it is. So we are here today to share our freebie for our collaboration with the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group. Now, I wasn't sure that we were going to actually be able to get this together. We had some massive storms here in Melbourne and we were without power for 5 days, which made it a little bit tricky for doing things like creating digitals. Even though Rennie does all the creating, we usually try to work a bit together. But needless to say, we're here, we made it, and we've got our power back, which is fabulous. And Rennie has created this awesome kit, tall identification cards, but the possibilities for this kit are pretty endless. So I love the fact that she's put a whole bunch of different sizes of all of these little elements here, and this large panel can be used in so many ways. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've put together. I've had so much fun playing with this kit. Just bring this board in. So they were, as the title suggests, supposed to be for a tall identification card. So I created this one, which is sort of tall with lots of different bits stuck in. And the only thing that I've added to this that isn't part of the kit are some staples where I've stapled the elements on. This little binder clip up here, and then I've done a bit of stitching around the edge. I haven't done any additional stamping or anything like that. It's all just bits and pieces from the kit. So then I also created this one, which was a bit more of a long skinny one. So I've just basically taken the panel and turned it sideways. And I did add one little stamp on here, but the rest, apart from the stitching, is just stuff from the kit. And then I also created this, I'll just pop this over here, this little one here, which is more of a flip out type thing, and then flipping down this way. And again, I've just made this from the panel sheet, and I'll show you how I've created this one today. And then I also have created these little tiny cards, I guess you'd call them, a couple of little blank ones there. And again, I've just folded the panel sheet a little bit differently to get this sort of shapes here. So having so much fun with this kit, I didn't want to stop. And I'm going to, as I mentioned, show you how to make this little flippy outy one today. So I've gone ahead and cut out a whole sheet of bits and pieces. I haven't cut them all perfectly. I've sort of left the corners and things on there. I can snip that off when I use them. And then I've also cut the panel, the large panel. These separate elements I've also popped in here with my other elements. So to begin, all I did was cut out the panel, and then I have folded my panel in half. I'm just going to give that a good press down with my bone folder. And then I've got these lines here which help me, break the panel into thirds. Now I don't want to fold this one exactly on the line because it's going to fold up and then this top one's going to fold down. If I fold it exactly, this edge will get caught on the fold. So I'm going to fold this one slightly shorter. Just give that a press down with my bone folder. And then I'm going to fold this one down, making sure that I'm not catching on that fold on the inside there. So I sort of end up with this little fold like this. Now before I glue everything down, I'm just going to open it all up and I'm going to ink around the edges here. This will just help hide the white edges. Okay, so I've got all of that inked and I'm going to use glue stick. Now I'm going to just pop a little bit of ink along this side. Okay, so in front of me I've just selected some bits and pieces and I've already gone ahead and inked around the edges just to save a bit of time. And it's really just a matter of putting your little flippy foldery thingo together, however you find appealing. So to begin with, I'm going to open this up. Now I've got some numbers up here, so I'm going to turn it around this way so that these numbers are on the bottom. Not that it really matters. And I'll use this little pile here first. So I've got this little word here that says photograph, and I just want that to peek out from behind my photo. Glue is stuck. So there we go, I've just got that little word poking out there. And then I'm just going to pop glue on the back. And I'm going to pop him down there. Now I'm going to leave most of that over there. I'm just going to bring in my little filed tab. Now this is a double-sided tab, so I want it to be poking out on both sides. So that gives me the word on both sides there. So I'm just going to leave those other bits and pieces over there for the moment, and I'm going to work on the lady picture for the bottom. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to pop her little word, photograph word on the side here. Okay, now before I add any of my other little elements, I want to put some of these sort of lines in the background that look like, it's lines that people might write something on. And I don't have a stamp with a line on, so what I am going to use is, I've got here one of those like loyalty cards, or an old credit card at work. And I'm just going to use my VersaClear brown ink, and the edge of the card is about 1 millimetre wide, so I really just want to get ink on one edge. So when I ink this up, I'm sort of doing it on an angle. I don't want to do it straight down. And that's just going to give me a bit of ink along one edge of this card. Then I can come in and eyeball it so that it's straight and just sort of gently move the card backwards and forwards, and it will pop some sort of worn looking lines on my card there. And I actually want them to look imperfect. I don't want them to be solid or, look like they're new. So just get something like that. And then I'll do the same down the bottom here. There we go. So just got some lines going on there. So the next thing I'm going to add is this little tab here from the middle. So I want my tabs to be layered, so that when I fold up my little folder, I've got one tab here and one tab here. So I need to add that other tab here. I'm just going to fold that in half. Like that. So now when I close this, I've got the two different tabs visible. So now I'm just going to go ahead and use the elements that I've picked for the bottom and the top panel just to fill those up. Now you can pick whichever elements you want. I just went through and randomly picked some things that I thought would look good there. I'm going to bring in a pair of these precision tweezers. Now these are the tweezers that you have to open, or you have to squeeze to release it. So once you're holding the item, the tweezers basically hold it themselves. You don't have to squeeze it to keep it there. I recommend these for gluing. I never used to be. I used to think sort of tweezers, bejesus, can't be bothered. But this is a lifesaver with very small things. Just don't glue it on upside down. Makes it so much easier to place them and sort of hold it while you pop the glue on. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick the rest of these on now. Okay, so I've got my elements on the top and the bottom, and I'm going to work on this bit in the middle. So I have taken the little declaration card from the kit, which was like that, and I've cut that in half so that it fits here. And I'm going to keep this other piece for the front. So I'm just going to glue this bit down first. Now for this card, it doesn't have any writing on here, so I want to add some writing, but I want it to look sort of old and worn and scrappy and not like my handwriting. So if you struggle to try to sort of fake draw, if you like, a couple of different ways that you can make it look a bit different is, instead of writing across the line as you normally would, if you write backwards, it tends to look a bit more scratchy. Or it does for me anyway. So it's sort of illegible, but it does look like writing. And sometimes I start in the middle of the line and I do a bit in each direction. There we go. So I've got something there that's completely illegible. I did try to make the beginning of this look a bit like a number and the beginning of that look a bit like a number because it says date of birth and address, but I don't think it's necessary. Okay, for the next part, I have used the travel ticket from the kit, which again, this was connected like this. Actually, I think it was like that. So I've cut a piece off and I'm going to save this bit for the front, and we're just going to use this little bit. And I thought I would just staple that on here. I also find if you're using the tweezers to stick things down, it's easier for me to try to move the thing I'm sticking to rather than sort of maneuver these tweezers around to fit what I'm trying to stick. Hope that makes sense. So that's our little travel ticket there, and I think I might actually add another staple. There we go. And I'm just going to use my pliers to squish the edges of those staples flat. Okay, so then I need to work on this front part here. And I'm going to bring in these two pieces that we cut off the documents from the inside. So there we go, and I had a couple of other little elements there. I think they were from this picture down the bottom. Now to finish off my little folders, I'm going to do some stamping. So this step isn't essential. I just like the way that it looks, and I'm going to be using stamps from the documented stamp set. Now if you don't have any stamps that are suitable, what you could use is something like the lid from a glue stick, and you could use that to give you like a round sort of stamp mark. So I'm just going to use this postmark stamp, and I'm just going to go over that just for something a bit extra. And on this one I'm going to put a signature. I think I'll use this one this time. And I might also use this little name. So there we go, that's our little flippy out document, which I think is pretty cool. It'll look cool tucked into a little pocket with the little tabs hanging out. So as you can see, I've had lots of fun playing with this freebie, and you really can do heaps and heaps with it. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I'm sure you guys will have some awesome ideas. And then Renee, of course, will have her take on this freebie at the beginning of next month as well. So you will find a link in the description box below to the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group. This freebie will be exclusive within the group for the month of March, and then for those of you that don't do Facebook, the freebie will go into our shop on the 1st of April and you'll be able to grab it from there. So thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you again next time. Bye!